which our judiciary system fails. Because that's the last thing that we have, to have a situation of law and order. Is the last bastion. When everything else fails, you can fail in the political arena and parliament, you can fail in the executive, but once the judiciary structure, there are such serious cracks so that people are not able to get justice. And then they get enforcement done by goons. And there's no country. Very soon we'll end up in chaos. So that I get my goons, you get your goons, and let's square it out. That is Mexico. That is Somalia. That is somewhere else. We should allow that to happen in Kenya, especially because Kenya, out of the failed states around the world, 6 are in our region, 3 are members of the East African community. So we should not fool ourselves that we cannot fail. We can take questions. So I told them to come, and I arranged for the ACC. The rest is in the public domain. We have recordings, we have their pictures, and the money which I gave them was not my money, it was from EACC. Now the problem also I brought to the Chief Justice is that how can she be again allowed to make pronouncements on my case, that she's the one to tell me. Apart from what the DCI investigated and is already being prosecuted at the Magistrates Court, I did make another report. I don't know whether this story that some fools were already arrested is true or is fake news, but one of the appeals I'm making to the DCI is that I did report criminal activity by one of the law firms on this matter. I gave evidence from court records, I gave witnesses that should be interviewed, and 2 months later, I think they're very busy, they're not being able to deal with it, and I'm just appealing publicly if the DCI should concentrate on reports of big people that have made, arresting so-called goons is going for the small fry and leaving the big fish. Even those who came with goons to my place on Monday, they know who they are. And if they don't, I can give them the names. And they should be charged. Don't tell me that you're charging goons and leaving the big people. Because these goons are just our children who don't have income. If somebody tells them, okay, come with us, there's some people to beat, will give you 500 shillings or 1,000, you know. But they know who brought the goons. And I know who they are. And I can identify them if they want to interview me. And I can even give them names if they don't want to interview me. So I'm requesting that if at all we want to deal with this goons thing, forget about harassing these little kids who are being harassed, yet they're just looking for food for them. And any of you who has been hungry for more than a day know just how desperate you become. It is instinctive that you do anything to get something to eat so that you can survive. I think that's all I have to say. I think I need to go to the case of the ACC. It's only that 4 people were arrested at my premises, a different premise from the one which is on dispute now. And these 4 people, for several weeks before the judgment was issued, had been blackmailing me and extorting money, supposedly on behalf of the judge. When I asked them, give me the proof that you're genuine, they told me, don't worry. This case is coming up for ruling on Friday, not Friday, on 5th of February. On 5th of February, the case will be postponed. So they say, the case is coming on 5th, but to prove our credibility, this ruling will be postponed. Then we'll come back to you for bargaining. So they proved beyond any reasonable doubt that they were dealing with a principal. One of the suspects actually made a phone call to the judge, and in their conversation, I could see, I could hear, and realize that this is a person who has got my file. So it's all obvious. But then now, of course, when she ruled against me, because I knew that there's an appellate process. If, since I know, I'm not ready to offer the bribe, so let me go for appellate process. Because the money which was being demanded was $80,000 US. And all that is on record in our conversations with them on WhatsApp. So I decided that, okay, what do we do in this case? And what happened is that they came and, they insisted that they can still help because the judge had made a statement in court that appeal is not automatic. It has got to be brought to her for her discretion. And I know fully well that an appeal should be automatic according to the Constitution. But in this case, she pronounced herself in court and is in court records that it is not automatic, you have to apply. So this was the signal that I got when those guys were demanding the money, that give us money and we'll get